It's funny because everybody told me, when you move to Dubai, Sam, you've got to connect with Jeri Williams. And I was like, who's this Jeri Williams? You were never on my radar. And all of a sudden I saw you everywhere.
Yes. When you're a business owner, you're a business owner for a reason, because you're that way, you're wired that way. You know, so we're wired to cope with a certain level of stress and anxiety that comes with the fact that everything's on you.
And the norm is here to be 10xing yourself and putting yourself into every opportunity that comes up, working really hard, not saying no, taking on more possibly than you can handle to push yourself.
I have managed my stress and anxiety because I'm very protective of my time.
You've done a really good job of building a business that's giving you your freedom back and your time back to focus on the things that you really enjoy.
Yes.
But what motivates you?
I was so sick of this kind of hamster wheel. That's not why I set the business up. You know, I set the business up to have like more control over my time. I want to give my kids everything, you know, like financially, physically, emotionally, like just every bit of me.
There's lots of people out there that want to run their own business.
Yes.
Yeah, there's people that do run their own business. Business owners are business owners. How do you deal with it? Jeri, thanks so much for joining today on the Financial Planner Live podcast. Finally, I've got you sat down to interview about your career. It's funny because everybody told me, when you move to Dubai, Sam, you've got to connect with Jeri Williams. And I was like, who's this Jeri Williams? You were never on my radar. And all of a sudden I saw you everywhere.
Yes. So, yeah, likewise.
So we kind of, actually, we met, didn't we, at an event that we did.
We did, yes. Yeah.
Which was fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, really good. So, and we promised that we'd sit down and do the potty.
We have been trying, but we're here now. We did it.
Fantastic. So first things first, was there a left phalange on the plane?
I hope so. Honestly, like the stress of flying, I'm just not a good flyer. I'm not like, I do it. It's, you know, obviously I have to, but no, I don't like flying at all.
First class?
Business
class.
Quite at the first class stage yet. Not always anyway.
I've yet to be in business class, yet to be in first class. I'm still in the back with the rabble.
Oh, I didn't realise that, so we can't be friends anymore.
Exactly. There we go. Great stuff. Right, for those that don't know you, can you just introduce yourself?
Yes. So I am Jeri Williams, chartered accountant. I own Smooth Accounting in the UK and now Smooth Dubai over here. We look after mainly corporates, do their accounts, tax and everything. And for the last 3 years, we've been helping relocate people from the UAE, from the UK to the UAE.
I read a stat recently, I think it's 26% of adults are considering leaving the UK, which is roughly around 6 million. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm not surprised though. Like,
are you getting a lot of people reach out to you recently?
So many. Yeah, so many. It's definitely increasing. Like, I mean, we've been pretty busy the last 3 years anyway, with people wanting to move, but for sure it's getting more and more and more, and it's every day. Yeah, it's constant.
Why Dubai though? Why do people love it so much?
I mean, obviously the tax reasons, you know, and people are sick of paying so much tax in the UK. But I think on top of that, it's the weather, it's the lifestyle, it's the safety. You know, it's, for a city, the unusual side of it, I guess, being that it is super, super safe, it's super clean, you know, and those kind of things where most cities are not that way.
I used to live in central Bristol, and you know, it's when you go to like central London, certain areas. Yeah. You go back there now and it does feel almost shocking. Yeah. You know, like I had, unfortunately, homeless people who were addicted to drugs sleeping pretty much outside of the flat that was right on the waterfront in Bristol. Yep. You know, and it was sad to see. And when you come here, you don't see any of that. And it's as horrible as it might sound, because it's almost like you're turning your back on a society or people that need help, for instance. It's nice to see a city that's clean and doesn't have homelessness. Yeah, it is. And I think as well, on top of that, like the way that you feel when you're in a city like London, for example, certainly I'm talking from my own experience and how I feel, is it's my purse done up, you know, it's my, where's my phone? Have I got it? Like, don't just hold it, you know, like, don't wear my nice watch. Like, and it's constantly in your mind, and you're walking through like the tube, the underground, and you know, like this, and it's just, and whereas here, I would never even question that. And I was talking to a potential new client
yesterday I had a meeting with, and he said his 12-year-old daughter and her friend made plans to go to Nobu and got like a driver to take them, and they went to Nobu, the two of them. And like he said, and I said, can you imagine like letting your daughter do that in England? I mean, possibly it wouldn't be Nobu in England. Maybe we have got a Nobu, but and he said, not at all. I wouldn't let her out of my sight. And I'm like, that's exactly what it was. You know, when I was here with the kids, all of a sudden, gradually building up to, you know, yes, you can go to the park without me, you know, and it's just not like that in the UK.
How long were you in Dubai for when you lived here?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm coming up to a year now.
God, that's gone past.
Yeah. Which, very well, maybe 9 months actually. Yeah, 9 months. It'll be a year in September.
Yeah.
I've worked for these guys for a year. So
Yeah.
I kind of coming back and forth.
Yes.
Do you miss it? So living here, going back to living in the UK, you've got a bloody lovely house in the UK.
I do have a nice house in the UK. I do miss it. I'm very lucky and fortunate that I get to come here quite a lot. You know, I was here with my husband and kids 2 weeks ago. We did like 15 days here as a holiday. And we're quite often here, and I come back a lot for work. So I think I get my fix. I do miss elements of living here, absolutely, because I loved it so much. And I really, really did love living here. But also I don't hate, you know, I quite like where I live in England. So I don't miss it to the point where it like really bothers me. But absolutely, you know, this is like my favourite place in the world. So, you know.
I think I'm kind of like almost like walking in your footprints, because you have business in the UK, over to Dubai. I've got my financial planner life, which services the UK. I'm over here at Hoxton Watt as head of creative here. Yeah. And I feel like I've bitten off more than I can chew.
Yeah, it's just, but don't you think it just happens because it's like Dubai has that effect? Like you get here and everyone's just fast paced. You know, I was talking to Chris about it. Like it's a fast paced environment. Everyone's growing. Everyone's helping each other. Like, you know, you do things here that you just wouldn't think necessarily were possible. Yeah. Or maybe you would think possible, but maybe you just wouldn't do it.
There's an energy here.
There's an energy.
Yeah, it's like
it's a vibe.
It's a vibe, and you kind of get swept up in it because I think everybody else is swept up in it. So it's psychosomatic, isn't it, I suppose, in a way. Like if everybody around you in that environment is doing it, then that's the culture. Yeah. That's the norm. Yeah, that's it. The norm is here to be 10xing yourself and putting yourself into every opportunity that comes up, working really hard, not saying no, taking on more possibly than you can handle to push yourself. Yeah, 100%. One thing I have felt, though, is that where I was 12 months ago to where I am now, I would 100% say I've improved in all areas of my life. Yeah. I feel like it's been hard. Yes. Right. And I read a post that you did about stress and anxiety never leaves you when you run your own business. And when I read that, I thought, I've got to talk to her about that. Because I ran my recruitment business for 16 years. I ended up selling that. Yeah. When I was running that, I was stressed and anxious. Yeah. Worried all the time because it's my own business. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been the same way ever since, really. And I wonder if it would ever leave me. Yeah. And I wanted to talk to you about that. Yeah. You know, like how do you... Like, there's lots of people out there that want to run their own businesses. Yes. Yeah, there's people that do run their own businesses. Business owner's a business owner. How do you deal with it? I think it's almost like that acceptance, but like rather than trying to chase this ideal of, you know, skipping through meadows and you wake up, you know, you have an undisturbed night's sleep and you sleep for like solid 8 hours every night and, you know, nothing's just like that, just not going to ever happen. It doesn't exist. And I think we're always chasing this kind of, you know, when will things calm down? You know, how often do you say, like, when things calm down a bit, we should do X, Y, Z, or when I get a chance, like, that's not going to happen. Like, it just doesn't. When you're a business owner, you're a business owner for a reason, because you're that way, you're wired that way. You know, otherwise we wouldn't be. You know, so we're wired to cope with a certain level of stress and anxiety that comes with the fact that everything's on you. Like, you know, you've got all the risk. Yes, you've got the reward as well, but you've got all the risk. And I think for me, I have managed my stress and anxiety because I'm very protective of my time. And I'm so precious over my time. I'm more precious over that than anything else. And that has helped me manage, I think, everything. You know, like I've said no to things that I absolutely would not have said no to previously because I'm protective over my time. Can you just describe how you put processes and procedures, plans in place to protect your time? Because it's something that I'm trying to be better with.
I'm really anal about it to the point that it almost seems obsessive. And I think I had to get like that. So, you know, say for example, someone sends me an email and goes, "Oh, Jeri, is it okay if we do X, Y, Z?" And I could just go, "Yeah." Right. Well, I don't just go yeah or no. I think, why are you asking me? I don't want to be asked the question. Right. So immediately, rather than responding, it's, can you answer? Don't ask me that again. Right. Because I don't, and like, I mean it in the nicest way possible, but like, don't drag me into anything, like, because I should be able to just switch my phone off, disappear off the face of the earth, and my business should be completely fine and should still grow and should still, you know, and that's the way it should be. So the minute I start getting dragged into anything that even might be a really quick thing, I'm like, no, I don't. I used to be such a control freak, and I've done a complete 180 because now I care more about my time. And it's so precious. Every minute of the day is so precious to me that I'm really, really, really careful with it. So I think unless you get to an obsessive level about your time, you'll always get dragged into things that you think need you. And I don't.
How long did you live in that space where you didn't control time?
Oh, probably the first 5 years of my business, I'd say. And then I kind of went like, enough. I'm not doing this anymore. And I actually, at the point I thought, I don't care if I earn less money. I was so sick of this kind of hamster wheel and feeling like I'm so stressed. I'm so busy. That's not why I set the business up. You know, I set the business up to have like more control over my time. And it's not even necessarily about the quantity of time. It's more about the freedom and the choices. Like, I choose to be here because I want to be. I don't have to be. You know, it's that. So I think it was probably about 5 years in that I went, right, I'm employing people that are going to do these things that are better than me. And even if that costs me more money than I think I've got or whatever, like, that's a necessity and that's what I'm doing. And I delegate, and my managers delegate, and I'm just really, really keen on delegation.
So you held on for 5 years, really trying to keep that control.
Well, I'm doing everything. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So when you took that, so at 5 years and you did that, okay, you let other people into your business, you started to delegate, employ people, as you say, were better at the job that you were in that specific area. Yeah. So you could focus on you. Yeah. Did things improve? Yeah, massively. I mean, I got to the point where I wasn't doing anything. I remember just being like, well, now I don't know what to do with myself. Like, genuinely, I was like, I don't know what am I doing? And on a daily basis, I used to be like, I'd be checking, "Oh, is everything okay?" And they go, "Yeah, thanks." I'd be like, "Do you know? No, we don't." Like, so then I started coaching people because people kept asking me to coach them, other accountants. And I was like, no, I'm not coach. I have a coach. I am not coach, right? And then after a certain amount of time went by and I had so much time on my hands, I was like, okay, fine, I'll coach a couple of people. And a couple of people turned into like 5, turned into 10, turned into 15. Then I ended up with my academy where I had like 100 accountants I was coaching because I have loads of free time. But now it's different because now I have Smooth Dubai and that's a baby business. So that needs me a lot more. But like Smooth UK is my kind of steady, stable, that's my bread and butter. I don't run that on a daily basis. You know, I don't know who the clients are. I haven't met some of the team. Like, I'm not really involved. I'm involved in a strategic way, but I'm not involved in the day-to-day of that business. How does that feel? Because that's slightly different to what you were used to before from a startup perspective. Yeah, it feels great. Like that, I made it that way. It was like that before I moved to Dubai. You know, the fact I was able to up and just move to another country shows the extent that I was involved because I just went. So does that mean that you could do that in any country? Do you feel like now you could literally take Smooth USA or wherever? Absolutely. And I sometimes like go, what other country? And then I go, no. Because even like an accountant friend of mine, he was like, Jeri, you need to get into Saudi. Loads going on over there. And I was like, okay, I need to, because Jeri's mind, I go, yeah, okay. Like, that sounds great. Because I'm a little bit like magpie, kind of like, oh, exciting like thing over there. But I'm like, no, master. Alex Hormozy says like, focus, master your thing. And I don't feel like I've mastered the Dubai stuff yet because it still needs me. So at the point that I feel like that is running without me and I'm not like so involved, then maybe I'll go somewhere else. You've done a really good job of building a business that's giving you your freedom back and your time back to focus on the things that you really enjoy. Yes. Yeah. But what motivates you? What is it that actually motivates you in your life to do the things that you actually do? Definitely the kids, and that's very cliche. I'm aware of that, but I think for me it absolutely is because I think I
my mum was a single mum, and we didn't really have much money growing up, and things were difficult. So I definitely think it stems from, so it's linked to me having children in that it stems from, I want to give them the best of everything. My mum gave us the best of everything. I mean, we had more love than a lot of kids have. So from that perspective, and that's the most important thing, we had it in abundance. So I think I want to give my kids everything, like financially, physically, emotionally, like just every bit of me. And that's why now, my time's so precious, because I want to take them to school. I don't need to, but I want to. My husband takes them, but I want to come. I want to come pick them up. I want to come to every, they play sports every Wednesday. I want to come to every single sports game. Don't want to miss any of it. And that's kind of, that drive of wanting to be at everything, always there, every meeting, every assembly, I want to be there. So I don't want to just be this kind of CEO that's busy all the time. And, being busy is kind of like, the novelty wore off, I think, around the year 5 mark of the being busy. And I was like, nah, it's not for me. So I've always wanted to earn more, but I want to work less and earn more. So that for me, I'm trying to push the two apart.
So what was the turning point in respect of that? So you obviously decided sod it, I'm going to employ people, right? Was that the big point, was it? Okay. Yeah,
and pass all the clients away. So all the clients, they want Jeri because they've only ever known Jeri looks after them. And now all of a sudden, Jeri's never looking after them again.
Did you find that you were protective because if you felt if you gave it away, then you would potentially lose your income?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that would affect your family, which means that they'd get all the things that you would want them to have, which perhaps you felt that you didn't have. That's your money story.
Yeah, it's what?
Your money story.
Yeah.
It's like your relationship with that's your money story.
Yeah, it is, because I definitely have a strange relationship with money because of that. Because I have memories of we couldn't put stuff in the trolley when my mum was doing a food shop because we just couldn't. My mum knew she was buying XYZ and that's all the money we had. So when I'm shopping with my kids and they go, can we have? I go, yeah, put it in. And I'm overcompensating because I have these memories of being a kid. So it's little things like that. And I think I probably shouldn't do it, but I can't help it because my relationship with money is, probably a bit of an obsession, I'd say. I think I've always focused on marketing above anything else from day one. Unlike a lot of accountants who sort of focus more on the operational side and doing accounts, I've never been like that. It's always been marketing. And still to this day, I put as much effort in marketing now, even though my business is established and doing really well. I do not take my eye off the ball at all with marketing. I do it from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. I'm here on this podcast, right? So, and you understand because of what you do. If people can focus on marketing, they'll have steady stream of income or steady stream of inquiries, right? You'll always have leads. If you've always got leads, you can cope with anything else in your business. So I knew I could employ these people to delegate to because I've always got inquiries because I'll never ever stop marketing.
I love your marketing. I love seeing you out everywhere because I know how hard it is, how difficult it is, and I admire what you've done and how you do it and the interaction and the engagement that you actually have. And I think in professional services, it can be even harder.
Yeah.
Because all your followers could be accountants.
Yeah.
I love the way you turn that into a money maker as well. And it's the same thing that I'm trying to do with the financial kind of life. You know, I will go down the whole coaching angle and the community angle. I've got my academy where we train people, and I'm super looking forward to monetizing further my audience, but monetizing through value add.
Yes, and it has to be that. No.
I want to give them something.
Yeah, it has to come from wanting to help. I've always been about community. Accountants have always helped me, so I've always helped accountants, and I do every day. Always help accountants. Yes, okay, I've monetized it, but it comes from a place of wanting to give back. People have helped me. I pay it forward. Hopefully, they'll pay it forward, and that's just how it goes. We're not competing. I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine, and he runs a UK firm down the road from me. Our kids go to the same school. He set up in Dubai. He helps people relocate to Dubai. We literally do the exact same thing, and we're really good friends. We're on a podcast together. And he was people would think, what are they doing? And he's like, but there's too much business out there.
Yeah.
There's too much for us. There's too much there's no competition with me and hundreds of thousands of accountants. Because there's so much.
Collaboration, not competition. That's my motto when I actually got set up.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, because you always found that people were hyper competitive in the financial planning profession. There was quite a lot of ego and JP a crack and these guys, IFA's better than, Tide and all of that.
Yeah.
And the aim for me was to kind of bring financial plans together under a podcast and a conversation that would share best practice, how to get ahead in your career. Yep. How did I build that many followers or get that much assets under management? It was all about sharing knowledge and helping. And that works really well for me, and has helped establish me as somebody who's a facilitator, not someone who's trying to take. And recruitment was always one of those things where people thought you were trying to take.
Yes. Time, right? Yeah, I can imagine.
Kind of like necessary evil.
Yeah.
You know? But what I wanted to do was to say to people, look, you know, this podcast, this whole financial plan of life is for you, because if I can get you talking on my podcast about how wonderful this career is, those retiring IFAs that are leaving and leaving nobody else coming in can be replenished by the ones that you're teaching, because everybody wanted to educate the next generation to say what a great job it was, but no one could really do anything about it. They're like my niche and my reason why they should work with me, and therefore I got some vacancies. It's fun.
It comes back around though, don't you think?
Yes.
Like, because I even think now I get so many leads from other accountants because they can't help with the Dubai side. I never saw that coming because none of that was intentional. But now I'm like, because I've made such strong personal brand and because I've made such an effort to help accountants, they're all like, oh, Jeri does the Dubai stuff. So now I'm like getting accountants referring to me, which is like so much more, I guess, so many more leads than individual people, because they've got tons of clients. So now I'm like, God, I never even saw that coming. So it comes back around.
No, I love it. Did you find that you had a lot of accountants following you, or did you find you had a lot of potential clients following you? Was there a period where you felt like you were just talking to an echo chamber of people that were looking at you because they were like, oh, wow, she's an accountant, she's not doing what I'm doing? Because in the financial planning profession, you get a lot of financial planners say they put themselves out there, and I look at their likes and engagements and comments, it's all other financial planners. It's not their target audience. It's almost like they're talking to planners, not talking to their clients. Right? And there's a big, massive gap there to be filled. So to come in and educate them about nail a niche, create a podcast, speak to the audience you want to convert. Don't speak to financial planners. It's not a dick measuring game. Let's find some clients, you know? So did you find that on loving your situation?
I guess I wasn't very intentional with my marketing in the early days. I was consistent. I get the crown for consistency, but I don't think I really knew. It's certainly on LinkedIn when I started. I was just always using it for a bit of fun. I never used it initially to get business, but it caught attention. And attention then kind of, you know, I guess it's quantity over maybe quality in the early days. And there's quite often that debate on LinkedIn, like, do you want quality or quantity? And I've always been like, actually, for me, quantity, because just by statistics, right? Just scientifically, the more people that follow me, the more people see my stuff, right? So, but I think as I honed in on what I was actually doing here and actually now building following, and now people actually want to see my stuff. So now I have to post every day because people are like, you know, where's Jeri? What's she saying? That I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Now I'm going to start posting more relevant stuff to my audience. And then when I built my academy for accountants, then I'm posting to other accountants. And you'll see me, I intentionally shift my focus depending on what I'm doing. So if I'm holding an event, my focus, I will drip feed ahead of the event, you know, about it because I'm trying to sell it out. Or if I'm doing a launch for my academy, you'll see me drip feed about that to other accountants. So I'd sort of tailor it now, depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I've seen it, I admire it. It looks good. I like your direct approach as well. I mean, you are being direct, and I like the fact that you are trying to close when you are you're building intrigue, you're building interest, but you are closing it every step of the way. And I think with me, it's one thing that I've not really kind of done that enough. I'm not closing enough. I'm not talking about the level of service I offer on the financial plan of life as my media company, the production company. People are starting to see, I kind of do it through show.
So, but I think that's great.
Foster
is great.
Foster Nova's brand new podcast comes out tomorrow. I produced that. For 12 months prior to that, they had a partnership with me. So it's like, I'm showing the journey. I'm just hiring somebody in to help me operationally pull the trigger on the marketing. Because I'm not I'm not organized. Like, you know, on the front end, I'm speaking to the social, go out and talk to people, but I need that kind of structure in the background and someone holding it all together and creating the funnels for me and all of that kind of stuff as well. The email marketing.
All of that. I
don't do enough of that. Or take an idea that I've got and actually put it into a sales process and help me to articulate it. So I'm looking forward to that. Do you spend a lot of money on marketing? Like how much, you know, people always say to me, Sam, like 5 to 10% of your turnover should be marketing spend. Do you spend a lot, or are you literally the marketing wheel?
I am the marketing. I wouldn't say I really spend anything on marketing other than we spend a bit here and there on someone doing social, like graphic stuff for the business, like more corporate stuff, I guess. We've always spent a lot on SEO. So that is one area that even when I couldn't afford it, I found a way. And I've been doing that since 2018, really, really heavily invest in SEO. And that for me is like a non-negotiable, because our website generates more inquiries than any other thing. So I'd delete all my social media tomorrow and we would still continue to grow at a rapid pace, because the effort and money I've put into SEO is because that it will generate loads.
You're investing into sort of, what's it called? AI, whatever it is.
Yeah, we haven't done it on that side, but we've got like AI chatbots on our website and stuff like that. And that's really to kind of like dabble in it a bit, and also field off some of the basic questions about, you don't need to get in front of me to ask X, Y, Z. We can give you that information.
The one thing that we see that I think is something, again, that I'm going to be building out for Hoxton Wealth, and which I've done in the time that I've been here, mainly around the career side and the brand within financial planning, social proof. So if someone types in the name of Chris Ball, something's now coming up talking about his business and career. If someone types in careers at Hoxton, something's coming up. If they type in Sam Oates at Hoxton, type in Sam Oates, loads of stuff comes up. So for me, the ability to type into Google or to type into social media and actually get some proof that that person does what they say they're doing, and is trusted, maybe some client stories and all of that. I'm going to lean now into with Hoxton Wealth, building advice stories, building client stories, and really consumer driven, as opposed to stepping, like when I first came in, and just hit what I knew best, which was careers, which is a fantastic job. Attracting lots of people. But now I'm super keen to kind of create that social proof content, high value, and build out that YouTube channel. So I'm quite excited by that, because I've never done it. Final note though, before you go, because I know you're desperate to get out and see your friends and have some lovely dinner at the Four Seasons. Third day, isn't it? You said?
Third day, yeah.
Lovely jubbly. You are bringing out a book?
I am bringing out a book, and I just wish I could give a date, but it's always finished. I've had the draft. I just need to tweak it slightly. I'd like to think by the end of May, hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, it will be available. It's going to be for sale on Amazon, but everyone can join the wait list on, my LinkedIn, Jeri Williams, or any of my social media handles. You will find a link to the wait list. So, yeah.
And why would someone find value in your book? What's it about?
I mean, I get asked 100 times a day about moving to Dubai, and every question you could possibly think of. So for me, it was a case of going, right, this is my brain dump. This is everything that I know through having moved myself, but also moved hundreds of clients here. I've put it all down in a book. So I think it will be a really honest, raw kind of, and I've tried to make it a bit funny, kind of collection of chapters about everything from tax to schooling to where to live, all of that. So for people that are thinking about moving here, I feel like it's got a bit of everything, and it's not dull. I think it's quite interesting. Of course, it's my take and it's my opinion, but, I just think there'll be a lot of value in there for people, and hopefully it will answer a lot of their questions that they've been trying to get answers to.
But see a YouTube channel in that one?
Well, I do have a YouTube channel, and I do put a lot of content out on it to buy stuff. So yeah, Jeri Williams, if people want to have a look.
Jeri, look, it's been an absolute pleasure today. Thanks for joining us in the Financial Planner Life. Obviously, it's the accountant's life, but what a fantastic journey you've been on. I'm really pleased to be connected with you, and I hope we can continue catching up at events and connecting. And I just love seeing your journey. So thanks so much for coming here today and sharing that with our audience.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers.